Hello viewers, welcome to my channel Tune to Linux. In this video I'm going to discuss about Puppet Master features, and also I'm going to go through my web interface for Puppet Master and show you some basic about Puppet Master and clients. Okay, so let me discuss about the features, and those features, some key features I have updated in this slide here. And you can see the first one is the agent node is one or more agent client. So this means the agent can be one or more. So this is how it says. You can call it as agent node, or you can say agent client. So you can have one master node and you can have multiple agents added to that master, and you can configure and manage those agents from the master node. Okay, so agent autofetch configuration information from master every 30 minutes. It is default and we can change this time. So what are the configuration you have done in client Puppet agent node? Those configuration will populate to agent Puppet master in default every 30 minutes, and that can be changed. If you wanted to change that default time, you can do that. Okay, so after that we have something called Puppet Master Server, and it can include 1000 client nodes. So in one Puppet Master can manage 1000 nodes. This is what it says. So it depends how many servers you wanted to manage from one Puppet Master. Okay, but it can include up to 1000 nodes. Okay, so basic requirement, your specification, your hardware specification would be 4 GB of RAM and 2+ core you should have in your Puppet Master, and in this specification it will support up to 1000 nodes. So you can manage up to 1000 nodes with this specification if you have in your Puppet Master. Okay, so Puppet Master is also an agent. So this means when you install a Puppet Master, you also need to install a Puppet agent in the same server. So this is what it says. So Puppet Master is also act as a Puppet agent. Okay, so let me show you in my agent. This is my agent and this is my Puppet Master. And if I just check for the service PE, it is Puppet status. So this is the agent, and also okay, it is MOTD. So your Puppet server start with P Puppet server. Okay, so this is the latest version. Okay, so it is 5.1. It is not a latest version. Currently we have 5.2 and also 2017 version 1, which is recently released, but you can also say the 5.1 is recent. It was released on last year December, it seems. Okay, so if you wanted to check here, you can see Puppet server status for the master server services running, and also this is an agent services which is running on the master server. So this is how it is. That is why it is saying here it is also running as an agent. Okay, it uses the certificate to uniquely identify agent node tied to FQDN of host. So how it identified when a new request come from agent to master node? So it is basically identified through the unique certificate, and that certificate would be tied with your system FQDN name. Okay, so for example, you have this server this is an agent node, and if you wanted to see the certificate for this node, then you just need to run puppet agent minus fingerprints. Okay, so if you run this command, you would be able to see a certificate for this system. So this is how the puppet master is identifying this node is a part of puppet, and that this node needs to be managed by puppet master. Okay, so and this certificate is tied with your host name. So when this certificate is information is available in the puppet master, it is also tied with the host name, so that the puppet master knows this certificate is belong to which host name. Okay, so the next step, next features is master server delivers configuration information to agent node. So this is a very important features. Why I'm saying it is important, because assume you have hundreds of nodes you are going to manage through puppet master, and you don't want it to do you don't want it to log into each and every client agent node, and you wanted to do the changes. What you can do instead, you just can log into puppet master and push all the information on changes which you wanted to do in client node or agent node. You can push it through master. So it delivers the configuration from one centralized location, which is puppet master. So this is very useful, and when it comes to managing hundreds of nodes. Okay, so next is the console server. So primary management web GUI can be same as master server instance or can install on other servers. So we have a primary management web GUI interface through which you can manage your all client agent nodes, and this can be either installed in your puppet master node, and if you would like to install this in an additional or different node just to have this interface service to be running to the server, and you wanted to manage as an individual GUI node, then you can do that. So it is the features which we have it. So currently I have this server puppet master, and this is my puppet master server, and here if I just run service call let's etc in.d p, and you would be able to see one service called puppet console service. So this is what the GUI service is. So this component puppet console you can install in the puppet master itself, and if you would like to install in a different node, you can go ahead and do that. Okay, so this is how the dashboard look like for the version 2016 5.1. okay, so in case for example your puppet GUI is not working for some reason and you wanted to troubleshoot, the first thing you wanted to check is the service, which is p console, whether it is running or not. If it is not started or not running, then you should ensure that the service is started. Okay, and the other feature is we can manage, we can configure, and we can add nodes through client provisioning as well, and you can install Puppet and manage and deploy new instances like VMware or AWS through Puppet. So this is very good features which is comes with Puppet, because nowadays we use mostly a virtual environment and the cloud environment. So this features is supported by Puppet. So if you would like to use Puppet in your cloud environment, you can go ahead and you can use that. Okay, so in the next slide it talks about ideal for managing 2 or more node agents. So to just test your configuration, how it works, and do a basic configuration for Puppet. You can have minimum 2 nodes which is running a Puppet agent services. This is what it says. And collect inventory from agent node using mcollective. So there is one service called mcollective. So this is a key service which used by Puppet master and get or fetch all the information from Puppet agent. So this is what the Puppet mcollective service does. mcollective provide Puppet with mid-rate data concerning agent. Okay, so mcollective will have all the information of agent system. For example, your system memory, RAM, CPU, and other basic information about your system. So those information will fetch, all those information will provide through mcollective. Okay, and your Puppet which supports all of Nix system. So when it talks about a Nix system, it comes Redhat Linux, CentOS, Scientific Linux, Suse, Debian, or Ubuntu. Okay, so what are the Unix based system which we have it? In all those Unix system, Puppet is supported. Okay, so and also it supports all roles. What does it means? It means that you can install a Puppet master in Red Hat servers, and also you can install Puppet agent. So it supports the both role. But where in Solaris servers or Windows servers it is limited. Here it supports only agent role. So you cannot act or run Solaris server as Puppet master, and also you cannot run Windows servers as Puppet master, because it is only supported as agent role. Okay, so this is very important. And the evaluation license support up to 10 nodes. The one which I am using currently, it's Puppet Enterprise version 5.1, and this is evaluation version, because if I go to node here, you would be able to see inventory information, classification, and unassigned certificate. And let me see where I can find that information. I think it is on not here. Okay, so it is here in license, I believe. Let me click on license, and you can see here you are using the complementary license. Okay, so in complementary license I can use up to 10 nodes, and I have installed or using 2 nodes, and I can add an additional 8 nodes. Okay, so in this license you can use up to 10, and if you wanted to go for more servers managing through Puppet, you need to purchase the license. Okay, so for licensing details you can click here, or you can learn how you need to purchase a subscription for additional servers. So this is what it says, and if you wanted to go for an additional, you need to pay as per Puppet is providing those subscription, you need to pay. Support automated installation of Puppet with answer file auto-generated during installation. There is a method which we can use through an answer file. While you install a Puppet master or an agent, you can use an answer file which will have the information whether I need to install console service or not, whether I need to install orchestration service or not, and whether I need to use this service as Puppet master or Puppet client. So you would be having an answer file, and in that answer file you need to specify whether or whether you are going to install or not. So those information you can specify in the tensor file, and while installing you just need to specify that file and it will install those role as per it is mentioned in the tensor file. So this is one good features which we have it. Okay, and configuration management via classes module. Okay, so there is something called module and classes. So let me talk about a little what is module and classes. Classes are basically Puppet code for managing features of agent node. So what are those actually? So let me show you here first. Let me go back to my GUI dashboard and let me click on configuration, and not in configuration, let me click on nodes. In nodes you would be able to see two nodes here, and in classification you would be able to see create, edit, remove nodes group here. So you can create a group. For example, I wanted to create a group called default. Okay, and this is I'm going to use for a finance department, for example finance, and let me create this group. Okay, so when I have created this group, you can able to see this is a group created. Okay, so if I click on group here, I would be able to see some information about role, matching node, classes, variables and activity. Okay, so it is nothing but a group where you are going to use some application. The application is it can be anything. It can be your HTTP services, it can be your MOTD, it can be your /etc issue if you wanted to use, and it is also you can also use you can also manage your users and groups in your system. So those services we call it as classes here, and those classes how would we define? So we would define here. So for example, I have created this group, and in this group I will add node. So first thing I have to add a node here. So you can see a certain name. So here you can see it is, once I click, it is automatically populated two nodes here. Let me add the first Puppet master and pin node, and let me add the other one as a node. So add this another node as well. So I have added two node here in this default group, and let me do a commit to changes. So I have added a group, and inside that group I have added two nodes. So if I click on matching node here, I would be able to see two nodes matched to this role, and these are the two nodes. And now I wanted to do some changes. I want to do MOTD changes on these two nodes. This is a Puppet master and client. So there I need to go in classes, and in classes you have to click here, and it says MOTD and other classes here. So to see those modules and classes, there is a command. If you go here and if you run Puppet module list, and you would see all this default, which is by default installed when you install your Puppet master, and I have installed an additional MOTD modules. So this modules has some classes. Okay, so if you wanted to see those classes, how it will going to changes, so all those modules are going to install in this location. If you just go inside this module and do LL, and you would be able to see MOTD here, and if I go inside MOTD ls, and inside this there is a directory called manifest, inside this manifest directory, if I do a ll, you can able to see one file called init.pp, and if I do a more for this file, you would be able to see what are going to change here. Okay, so it will ensure that it will enable, and there would be a message, something like that. The message is going to be managed by Puppet node. The system fqdn it is going to be is managed by Puppet node. This is how the message is going to be. Okay, and this contain are you can call as classes. So you can see here class MOTD. Okay, and these are the class information. Okay, so let me go back here, and now in classes I'll use MOTD. Just click on MOTD and add class, and once I added the class, default when you check for this file, you would see some information in under class. You would see conquered, add puppet warning, and enable. So all these three classes parameters you would be able to see here. So let me just drop down here, and you would be able to see these three parameters. You just need to add them. Add parameters, MOTD file, sorry, here add warning, add puppet warning, add parameter, and the last one is enable, add parameters. So this is how you have to add your modules classes. Okay, and once you have done that, you just need to save it. So those are the basic about the modules. You have more in module and classes. I will going to discuss those later in my videos. Okay, for now you just need to understand what are the modules and classes. So to download or install those classes, you can always go to this site. Okay, let me copy this site and come to Puppet Master and just ping. Okay, it's not pinging anyway. So to do that, the other way is Puppet module search. For example, I just wanted to do MOTD. I wanted to see what are the MOTD modules are available in force site. So you can see when I run this command, it is going to this site, force api.puppet.com, and here comes all the Puppet MOTD for this modules. Okay, so those are the modules which is available out there in Puppet sites. So you can download them and install as per your environment, and you can go to site here, https://force.puppet.com, and here you can able to search MOTD, for example, and just find for that module, and you'd be able to see all those modules available here. Okay, so this is the site, and let me go to next slide now. And the most other important features or requirement I can say is your port. Okay, so your port needs to be open. A certain ports needs to be open in order to function your Puppet Master or client. Okay, so you should ensure this port is 8140 is open. Okay, and also 61613, which uses by M collective from Puppet Master to Puppet client. Okay, so this port needs to be enabled and open state, otherwise you won't be able to fetch your agent information from Puppet Master, because M collective does that fetching those information for your client, and if this port is not open, you won't be able to do that. Okay, so and also the other port is, while installing your Puppet Master, you should ensure that 3000 port is enabled. I have showed that and discussed a little about 3000 port when I have prepared my Puppet Master video installation video. So you should ensure this port is open, and 443 for later uses. Okay, so and also your DNS configuration is proper, your sorry, your system hostname is properly configured in DNS, and also you can mention your CNAME in your /etc host file. This is one important information. Okay, and the other requirement or prerequisite I can say is Java, MySQL are required, so you should ensure those Java and MySQL is installed in your system. And the other one is your NTP is configured and it is synchronizing with your NTP server. So those are the requirement. You should ensure that your system is able to do. Okay, if those ports or those services or those packages are not installed, you may end up having issues managing your Puppet agent or client nodes. Okay, so for this video that's it. I am going to discuss more in my coming Puppet videos. For any questions and query, feel free to comment in YouTube comment section, and please subscribe my channel for more videos in Puppet, and I will prepare as per your requirement. If you have any questions, please do let me know. Okay, so thank you so much for watching this video. Have a good day.